Hey everyone, what's up? This is Ashley from So Called Cash, and today I wanted to talk about emotional eating. So, I used to work at a facility as a direct support professional in a classroom with individuals who had autism and other physical disabilities and things like that. And I used to bring my lunch with me and have that in the fridge, right? But at some point during the day, I would get triggered emotionally. It's like something would make me feel sad, angry, bothered, anxious. And so I would have my lunch, but afterwards I'd go on a lunch break and go outside and get something that was sweet, like a pack of cookies or, something savory, like some garlic knots. I would go find something that was way more pleasurable than the lunch that I just had. And I noticed it was something that I was doing for a while, even before I started working there. I just noticed that there would be moments where I go on the search for food, even though I knew I wasn't really hungry, like I had just finished eating. After a while, I noticed that there was a connection between how I was feeling emotionally and the choices I was making in regards to food. And the thing is, I had a vision for how I wanted to look and how I wanted to feel. Me giving into the emotion and giving into foods to make me feel better would make me feel even way more stressed. And then next, I'm feeling it in my body. It's reflecting on my face. So over a while, I began to kind of test myself to see, hey, can we address the emotion head on? Because you keep doing this thing where you're trying to address the emotion by eating a food, thinking that it's going to help you to feel better. And I would literally talk to myself like this because I'm like, you need to learn from the things that you're experiencing. This was very hard. It was not easy. I'd be at the job and something would make me feel away. And I tell myself to go to the bathroom, let's do some breathing, maybe a little meditation. I do it. I temporarily feel better, but my mind was still caught up on, but the food is going to make you feel better. This isn't. But after I come out the bathroom, after my crying or whatever, or just, pushing it aside saying I'll address it later, I still found myself walking over to the kitchen, to the cupboard to get some, to get some of the snacks that we had there. Or I'd find myself going back out on a lunch break to the 7-Eleven to get something. I was still doing the thing. And so I was even more frustrated because I'm like, you're not learning. This doesn't help you. It actually hurts you. It takes you away from you fulfilling your goal. Now I knew I had to be a bit more vigilant about having some type of practice in the evening to help me unpack and unload, and something in the morning to kind of help me set the standard for my day and to create balance. And so in the evening, I started doing a practice where I would kind of just visualize the experience that I had, and then I'd literally work it out all the way through until I kind of left that meditation like balanced. Like I left that knowing that, okay, the feeling and sensations fully left my body. Because that is what I realized was the issue, is that the feelings were not leaving my body. They were still, I don't want to say stuck, but they were still there because I was still holding it there mentally because I still was running the thing that made me feel bad in the first place through my head. So the feeling is just, of course, still there because my body's responding to what I'm thinking. So late at night, I would address, I'd let that kind of flow through me. And in the daytime, set the tone for, how I want to be, how I want to feel, knowing that, I can handle whatever and things like that. And learning also to not take things personally, because that was a big thing for me. Taking things personally that I had no business to take personally at all. So I started doing this practice and I noticed that, oh my God, like I'm actually okay through the day. I'm actually able to eat my meal and just be all right. I'm actually everything was okay. But then I kind of stopped doing the practice that was actually helping me to create this balance and to release the woes of the day. And I found myself back during the day feeling overwhelmed again and wanting to use food and things like that. This inconsistency kept happening. And so now I changed my job and in a different space, different place. Everything is cool. Everything is easy. All is well. But I still notice that I'm still overeating. I'm still eating because of my emotions. I'm still having this whole moment. And so I started to create a separation between my emotions and the food. And I literally willed myself to be like, nope, I'm not giving into it, and literally putting my foot down. And it took me a couple fasting experiences for me to officially end my emotional eating. So that is literally how I ended my emotional eating. It was just a bunch of stuff that I kind of put together based on, things that I had learned and experienced prior. So I took the fasting piece, I took the meditation and visualization piece, and I took listening to things that were supporting how I wanted to be and feel. And the combination of those three things are what literally helps me to stop emotionally eating. It was very hard for me. And even after one very successful fasting experience, I still left that still giving into my emotions. I was like, there has to be something greater inside of me. There has to be an overpowering sensation that exists in me that can overcome the fact that I keep giving into these negative emotions by using food. The third round of fasting is when I took it all the way. I was crying. My body was just so light and it was so tired. It was so tired. And I remember I was working on my paintings, and some of those paintings are on my website. And they're literally paintings that I made during this final fasting experience to end the association between food and my emotions, because I was finding something greater in me that would trump all of that. And I just got so frustrated. I was like, oh my God, I just want to have something to make this negative feeling go away. And then I was like, but you can't have that thing. But I was so annoyed that I just couldn't finish the painting. Even though I liked what was happening, I loved what I was creating. I was surprised at what I was creating. I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. I was like, but I can't do it. I was just so frustrated. So I literally went to my room and just laid on the floor. I let everything I was feeling in regards to food, how I felt, all of it, I just let it go. I let it go, I let it go, I let it go. And then I literally woke up, because I actually fell asleep on the floor in my bedroom. Fell asleep on the floor in our bedroom. And I woke up. I guess I call it bliss, because I literally felt, I just felt so loved. I was like, everything is cool. And I literally started crying, and then I'm finding myself even right now kind of choking up, because just how I felt there on the floor. I woke up and I was like, everything's okay. Everything is good. I'm good. I'm so supported. I'm so loved. I was like, oh my God, what is this feeling? I've never felt that before in my life. That day and every day after got completely easier. I finished out the fasting. And after a while though, I think a few days later, I found myself looking at the snacks that we have and just being like, oh, I don't need it. I didn't care for it. I didn't want it. I didn't care for it at all. Even when I found myself feeling negatively, I felt so supported in being able to handle how I felt that I had no desire to turn to the food. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I freaking did it. That's pretty much the journey with emotional eating, told succinctly. But as always, we hear a lot of the stories of people who are successful, people who are, they saved themselves from things. They tell the shorter version of something that may have taken a while, had plenty of ups and downs, was not easy, looked like a complete shit show. But on the other side, they were able to help themselves, change their lives, do these amazing things. And this was literally that journey where I was able to truly change my life and help myself disassociate the emotional eating, disassociate how I felt, and me trying to use food to feel better. And that was literally a result of me fasting. Also fasted from social media, and I fasted from watching TV. It was all about just, doing the creative stuff. So I was doing my artwork. I was, reading, doing those kinds of things. And then it was the meditations, of course. So, every evening, just going to my room and just laying there, visualizing how I wanted to be, how I wanted to feel, doing the affirmations while I laid there, knowing that everything's going to be all right. And yeah, that combination of things is literally what helped me to change my life. And just, of course, I had the intention to find a greater sensation, a greater feeling that would trump any of those things that I was experiencing. And I found it. And in that I found just the ultimate love, which is amazing. And that's why the way I choose to kind of support people is, knowing what is it that you truly want to experience? What is it that you truly want to feel? My goal is to help people who are kind of on, wanting to find something bigger in themselves that can trump all of those things that they've experienced, and who are willing to kind of move through that journey by doing the fasting. Like I said, you just surrender to the feelings every time you find you feel like you want to turn to food for reasons outside of you being hungry. So if this is something that you are experiencing, and the journey that I have had, as well as how I approached wanting to overcome this, if that resonates, definitely let me know. You can send me an email on my website, soulcalledcash.com, and I can super support you on that journey. If you're not ready, I also on my website have custom meditations, custom affirmations, custom song phrases to support where you are right now and where you want to be in that in-between space, which is where it can tend to be really difficult. So you can keep on going, keep putting one foot in front of the other, knowing that it's always going to work out. All right. I hope that story resonated. Give it a go if you want to. Let me know how that goes for you in the chat. Remember, this is just my experience, but it helps me and it worked. So that's why I wanted to share it. Let me know if you try it. Of course, like I said, if it's something that you do want support on, let me know. Send me an email. And yeah, until next time.